Chocolate Willy, I'm rain, you dirty sod.
Hello, everybody. Can you see this familiar face? Not so familiar. Welcome again to the Dark Mirror radio show. And many apologies for both mine and Mark's and Josh's absence. Josh has been busy with college and work and everything. Mark backwards and forwards with work and various illnesses, and me just being an absolute chaos infused being. I've been all over the place doing various different things. Unfortunately, Mark can't join us tonight because he has a problem with the tooth. So he's a bit puffy at the moment. So we've very kindly got Lynn Murphy in with us tonight, taking in Mark's shoes. Hopefully you're the same size as Mark, so you won't feel too rough in Mark's trainers. But welcome in, Lynn. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
And how have you been? Because obviously I've been absent from a lot of podcasts over the last few months, weeks. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm doing when I don't work, because I do, I'm keeping people alive, basically, and looking after them. So that's what I do. So it depends what my rota is. If I can do it, I will.
Yeah.
If I can't, then it's a no-no. But I mean, I've been on holiday. I've been to Tenerife. Yeah. Never been there before. That was an experience.
Very nice.
I quite enjoyed it. We didn't go far, but what we did do, we enjoyed. You know what I mean? It was lovely.
Yep.
Went with the family, and it's work, isn't it? It's all work.
Yes.
And I've been watching things going on the telly, and only when I go to people's houses, so because I never watch television at home. I haven't got one, but what it is, I'm noticing these things going on all the time. You know, especially with you've got Donald Trump's over, isn't he, playing golf and whatever, and I just keep my eye on things, see what's going on. But when I have days off, I'm interested in studying stuff, you know. But I'm interested in all this thing that's going on in deep space now. They're supposed to be where it's supposed to be. Don't know. They say there's something coming in, and it's rather large, and they don't know what it is. Well, they must know what it is if they've seen it coming in, and they know how big it is.
Yeah, I mean they've taken they claim they've taken measurements, but the problem I found with that was that they've been saying this for a year and a half now. But in one form or another, some people are saying it's Oumuamua coming back. Others are saying it's a fleet of spaceships. Others are saying it's the Anunnaki coming back to Earth. And there's so many different things going on. And like we've said time and time again, all it takes is for one person to put a post up on any social media site and it can snowball.
Yes,
But
exactly.
at the same time, it morphs into something else. So, yes, there could have been an object hurtling towards our territory as such. But then somebody else could come along and put a spin on it and change the story slightly. And then that goes viral and that takes over from the original story and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
And until it turns into Independence Day.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
Yeah.
all these, you know, you see it every day in, day out on social media. You'll get a lot of people will stand there and go, oh, there's an asteroid and it's on collision course.
Yeah.
And then we say, well, when's it going to hit? Oh, it's going to hit on, I don't know, say July the 25th. July the 25th comes and goes and everybody's going, so what happened then? Saw nothing on the news.
Exactly.
You know, if it was on collision course, why didn't it hit? The answer is because it probably didn't. It probably weren't there in the first place. It's done to cause panic.
Of course it is.
And to scare people.
Please
And at the moment,
yeah.
you know, there is so much going on at the moment that with everything that's there, disclosure's been put on the back burner. All you've got is the whistleblowers in Congress turning around and going, well, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And now we've got a police officer, or he's an ex-police officer, he was a top police officer, has now turned around to Donald Trump and said, you need to disclose all of this information before something does come along and causes mass panic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See,
So,
do they want people to know their mass panic? They'll be tucked away safely. They're not bothered.
yeah.
They're going to be quite happily tucked away with all the supplies. Remember years ago, I don't know whether you remember years ago, in the 80s, when there was such a massive food left over in the EU that they brought it to different countries, like there was butter and cheese. Ever remember that?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. So there's a glutton of food and they spread it out and everybody in all the towns around Britain and all through Europe got a share of all this stuff. But you're not hearing about it now. So where's this glut going?
Yep. This was the thing. Stockpiles of food were being left to go waste.
Yeah.
And when you had things like Live Aid, you know, Live Aid generated all those millions of pounds. But when it came down to it, all those millions of pounds, when it got to the people that it was there for, it wasn't millions anymore.
Yeah.
The money had slowly been filtered as it was getting to the people that needed it. That amount was getting lower and lower and lower until there was next to nothing that hardly made any difference whatsoever. So they kept asking for more money, and they discovered then that it was a lot of the warlords and a lot of the tribal elders were taking the money for themselves if it got that far.
Yeah, yeah.
And it needed the direct action. It needed the supplies to go direct rather than through middlemen, where they took their cut until it got so far down the line that it was almost, you know, not an impact whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've got the same situation going on again now. You know, we know there are people out there, they're starving, they're looking for food. We've got stockpiles of it. They just don't want us knowing there's stockpiles.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, you go to the food banks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've recently been to a food bank. I've dropped stuff off there, and I've seen the amount of food and clothing and the different array of help that is there for people.
Yeah.
And that's just one centre. But you're telling me that all of the centres around the UK are getting all this food coming in, whether it's from the supermarkets or from the customers of the supermarkets, bringing all that stuff in. What are they doing with it once it gets to the stage where it cannot be given out to people?
I know up in at Morrison's, they do these bags that they sell off for different food banks. They sell them off, So that money must be going back to the food banks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it makes you wonder where that money's going, but they're getting all that stuff for free.
Yeah.
So anything left over, free. I mean, look what happened when it was the EU put guidelines on what foods you could or couldn't eat. You couldn't eat wonky bananas. You know, they remember that?
Yeah.
And now everybody's buying wonky carrots. It's just, I can't understand that. That's not in my, I
couldn't when EU passed the legislation for the wonky bananas and wonky cucumbers. I'm sitting there thinking, but hang on a minute, that's how they grow. Bananas, especially, they grow around a central core, so they are going to be curved. You can't get many straight bananas because that's not how they grow.
No.
But then they passed other silly laws, like you couldn't eat a Dundee cake unless it was made in Dundee.
Seriously, yeah.
You know, and they tried it with all sorts. Your Bakewell tarts, Yorkshire puddings, all of these food items that can be made. They were trying to say that we couldn't have them unless they were made in that particular place.
Crazy. So
and you're like, well, why? You know, and there's got to be a reason behind it. And then when you look at how things are going today, I mean, this morning we got someone I know had moaned because of this new thing with having to have a proof of ID on social media.
Oh yes, now this
and going on about how it's an invasion of your personal being, you know, and you're right. So I'm thinking I had to shut him down straight away. And I just turned around and said, there is one thing the government needs. Sorry, Bobberman, didn't say that really. There's only one thing the Bobberman needs to know exactly what you do when you do it. And they went, well, go on then, because this is an invasion of my privacy. I went, your national insurance number.
Exactly. Yeah.
You haven't got to send. I mean, and I tried to say to him, you know, if you go on or a social media website, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it is, if they were to turn around and say, we want you to prove your age by sending us your driving license or your passport, they still have to go by GDPR rules and regulations. So if there is a leak of that information, your passport details get leaked out somewhere, you hold the social media platform responsible. They're the ones that have to compensate you.
Yeah.
So there is no real big issue with having to verify your age. I've had to do it with TikTok myself because I now sell stuff through TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, and I get paid commission for any items that I sell. So I had to prove my age. So I sent them a picture of my driving license.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if my driver's license ends up out in the general internet anywhere, I can hold them responsible because they're the only people that have got it. But as far as the Bobberman is concerned, if they wanted to know what I was doing, where and when, they just use my national insurance number. They'll know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think the people that have got a problem are more likely to be the people that have got something to hide.
Possibly, yeah. Could be, yeah.
It is, in a sense, it is an invasion of privacy. But it's like most things, when something new comes about, everybody goes, ooh, what's all this? I don't like it. And prime example, when Tesco's has a refit, you know, a supermarket had, there are other supermarkets available as well. I just hasten to add. Bunch of Tesco's, our local Tesco's now, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've been having a refit.
Right.
Now, they're only doing it overnight. So instead of being a 24-hour supermarket, they stopped doing that and went till 12.
Right.
And then they stopped doing that and close now at 10 o'clock. But as soon as 10 o'clock hits, that's when the workers come in and they start doing the refit.
Yeah.
And they're moving things around. We went into the supermarket the other day. Ellen took one look at the place and went, oh, don't like it. Straight away, don't like it. Everything had moved. Everything was all arse about face. She's like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. No, tell them to put it all back. I'm like, you can't. It's what they're doing. They're trying to make more space so they can sell more products.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all they're doing. But because they've moved everything about, you're used to certain things being in certain places, and now they're in the opposite end of the store, you've now got to find them again.
Yeah.
But what they're hoping you'll do is that while you're trying to find that one item, you might pick up 10 other items that you wouldn't have normally walked past.
That's why they put all the sweets by the till so the kids can go hysterical.
Yeah.
Until they get
Yeah,
them.
I want sweets. You go, well, yeah, great place putting them by the tills because I've got no choice but to walk past them.
Yes.
So, all of that stuff is there. It's to guide us in the direction that they want us to. But people complaining about the invasion of privacy, we don't have any privacy apart from in our own homes when we're off the internet. It's the only time when we're going to get privacy. You don't get it any time or anywhere else.
No.
And if they wanted to know what we were doing, then they've probably got the means of doing it anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's, I don't know. I mean, when you've got people like Donald Trump is now obviously president of the States, we've got what's his face, because I can't even say his name because he disgusts me too much. But he's the prime minister. You've got the idiot London mayor. Everything is going against it, and everything's now coming to a boiling point, and there's going to be issues. And as a result of that, things like disclosure has been put on the back burner. Now some big guy has popped up and gone, you need to bring forward disclosure. Otherwise, you're going to have an even bigger problem than just the people cheesed off with you lot.
Yeah.
If a spaceship was to pop down now, typical Independence Day fashion, comes screeching into the atmosphere and pulls up over London, all hell's going to break loose. And the last thing any Bobberman is going to want is chaos on the streets because aliens have turned up and nobody warned us they were coming.
Yeah. Oh, it would be catastrophe, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It would literally bring instant riots, and people will be standing there going, you were told that something was going to happen and you chose to ignore it and not warn us this was coming.
Yeah.
We've had to take matters into our own hands to see whether something was going to happen. But it's always been the Tim Fall Brigade.
See, I've been sort of, every now and again, Wayne, I've been like keeping my eye on what's going on these things in America, where they're coming out with more stuff. And they keep saying they've been told this. They've got people hanging on. They're not telling them nothing. It's like, to me, it's like a repeat of what they've done a couple of years ago. It's just saying there's nothing that I can see, or I've looked unless I've completely blindsided myself and not realised. Nothing's coming forward. There's nothing. Like that Oumuamua, they've got something else coming round which is connected to that now, or they thought it was. But they don't know if that's intelligent life. They don't know if it's a rock. They don't know nothing.
The problem is that the last time Oumuamua came into our solar system, it came in rather quick, and it did a slingshot around the sun.
Yeah.
But using the sun's gravity to slingshot is a progressive thing. So from the start of it entering the sun's gravitational pull, it would start to speed up. So it would get to its maximum speed as it comes round the other side and ready to slingshot back out again. But this didn't. It wasn't a gradual speed up. It was almost as if it was recharging batteries, or it was recharging something to the point that it had come round the sun, come round the other side and on its way out again, and then it sped up.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have done that.
It's an energy source, isn't it? And it makes you wonder if these anomalies that we're seeing up in space and whatever, like Oumuamua and different things and stuff that we're seeing, millions of people are photographing stuff, videoing all this stuff, right? And oh no, it's this, it's that, they're pulling it down. But there's a lot of stuff going on around volcanoes.
Yeah. Yep.
And when one went on in where is it, by Mallorca, somewhere like that, the other year, the volcano went up. And I was watching at the time this guy called Bear, somebody, and he done an interview on a hillside, and he showed you where it was going through this village. But as you watched, because I went to my son's and he showed me, he said, look at this. So hold on, slow that down. And we slowed it down. And there was like spheres shooting through.
Yep.
And going back into it. Now, you wouldn't have known that unless you'd have slowed it down. So he's nosing about this. So it's like an energy source, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been a lot of cases in Hawaii, especially, where bear with me a second. There has been Hawaii and like you say, with the Canary Islands and the Spanish Islands around there, where there's been volcanic activity and there's been orbs, there's been, like you said, the spears of light in and around the volcano area. And it's obviously, when a volcano goes up, all the chemicals and the gases and everything else go up into the air, and 9 times out of 10 thunderstorms are generated. And what a way to build energy. You've got a free energy source. It's like parking your car at Tesco's and getting your electric car charged up for nothing. I'll go in and do me shopping, and then come out, my car will be fully charged, free of charge, and off I go. Yeah, brilliant. This is good. And as evidence goes, there has been so many documented videos where something has either come in or gone out of either the ash cloud or the volcano itself. And they're saying, what's that? Because there is nothing earthbound that could do that.
No, exactly.
Nothing could do it, because it all involves heat and air intakes. Any of our vehicles would have gone into that and it would have been gone.
Yeah.
But they seem to go in and out as they please. Something ain't right with that. And a lot of them have been proved that whatever it is actually there. It's not photoshopped. It's not AI generated. And when you look at some of the videos, they go back as far as, I think the first documented one I think I've seen was in about 1989.
Right.
So Photoshop and AI? No. I don't think Photoshop and AI was around then. So, it would be very difficult to disprove a video like that.
Yeah.
So, it's difficult, but to deny that existence, especially when you get things like what's going on at the moment off the coast of the States, with things coming out of the water, the underwater bases that they claim there, one of them's moved. It's...
Has there been any evidence?
Something's not right.
Wayne? Do you know they're going on these underground bases off America?
Yeah.
Have they actually got photographic or video evidence to prove
that? I know there is one. There is one place off California, I think it is. Hang on, if I can find it. Off USA. There was one that was coming up on, I saw it on social media. It's come up on Google. Now, people will say that this is photoshopped or AI. But that's the most popular one.
It looks like a Greek temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the columns keeping the flat base in, but apparently that has moved.
Oh.
So a lot of people are saying, well, if that's moved, why?
And if they can get evidence of this underground city under the pyramids through the laser from the satellites, why aren't they using that to see why it's moved and where it's gone?
Yeah.
And what was they can do that there, they can do it there.
Yeah, the problem is you've got to get permissions to do it. And I saw an interview with the scientists that did the sonogram at the pyramids, and he said that it's not as easy as just going in with the equipment and doing whatever tests are needed.
Yeah.
You've got things like the Egyptian Boberman; they've got to okay it for a start off, and that can be a problem because it affects tourism. And that in turn affects the money that the Boberman gets from tourism,
Yeah.
as well as all the local businesses that would be affected by it because you would have had to have closed that pyramid off. You've then got to look at the infrastructure of the pyramid. You've got to be able to get underneath it. And so if you dig underneath, what damage are you going to cause to the pyramid? When they've been there for thousands of years and people have idolized the pyramids and paid homages to it and toured to there,
Yeah.
the last thing you want is for them to dig underneath it and watch a corner drop off.
That's true. It's true.
You know,
Do you know
so-
what? You're right there. What I often think as well. So if they've got this underground city that can hold 62,000 people, they reckon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. That's like the size of a good sized town. So
Yeah.
if you've got that and it's got tunnels, big tunnels going to Iraq and places like that. Now, that's been switching my head round a bit. So I'm thinking, right, so if this was built by what they may think now could be giants at the time, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
And they built them tunnels, right? So if it's easy enough for that, why are we using machinery to dig all these tunnels all the way around the globe, all the way through America? Do you know what? When you think about these people in South America and you listen to them and the waking up at stupid hours of the night and they're hearing machinery under the ground digging, like maybe massive tunnels. Is it the same type of machinery that they would have had then? Do you know what I mean? Because
yes, I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, look how we did with the Channel Tunnel. You know, how many years has that been sitting there?
Yeah, exactly.
And they used a massive drill bit to go under the English Channel and out the other side. Now, if you think of a race that is 1,000 or 2,000 years more advanced than us,
yeah,
they wouldn't be using those drill bits. They'll be using something more technical.
Yeah.
That would also be a lot easier, and it would take them a lot less time to go from, say, Cairo to Baghdad. It would be something that would take a matter of days rather than a matter of months or years.
It's like putting a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
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 It would be, yeah.
I mean, one of the theories is using laser technology. You know, you can buy torches now that are that powerful. If you concentrate the beam, it can burst a balloon or set fire to wood or paper. So, you know, it's not that difficult. If we've got that technology now, imagine what the technology would be like in 1,000 years' time.
But if we've got that technology now, what technology have we really got? If they're only going to let you know what they want us to know.
There's technology out there that has been patented, but has been sealed up in a box and hidden out the way from everybody else. Because if it was to be made general knowledge or available to the general public, it would be too much of an advantage to us against them.
Yeah, because they'd lose money, wouldn't they? Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, all the guys that have built cars that can do 200 miles on a pint of water.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden, oh, I've been poisoned. Off we go. That's you gone. You ain't patenting that machine. Then another guy comes along. There's a guy on TikTok at the moment that he converts plastic into plastic fuel for diesel cars.
Oh, I've heard about this.
And he's been going all over the place showcasing his invention. And he's taken in plastic bottles, any type of plastic he's putting through, and it looks like a distillery. He's literally chopping up all these bits of plastic, sticking them in this pot, and it's going around all these cool tubes and everything else. Comes out the other end, and he's putting it into a car, and they're running the car off of that fuel. Now, there's one way of getting rid of the plastic pollution on this planet, and yet they're trying to shut them down. Why?
Because they're not making any money off it, are they?
No, but if they were to buy the patent and then use that patent to clean up the world as well as selling the byproduct, they would still make money. He would make money from his invention, and he could probably do something with the contract so that he earns royalties like musicians do with songs that they release. He could earn commission, so he would get a constant payout. The fuel companies would get a constant payout. You know, and it's I don't know. I think what's going on there is it's one big conspiracy theory with the governments trying to control over the people. They're using technology to do it, and they shut down anybody that tries to think differently. It's almost going back to witchcraft.
Oh yeah.
You know, James the First era. You know, oh look out, here comes Matthew Hopkins. Better not drink my nettle soup because he'll hang me up.
Yeah.
You know, it is literally a modern day witch hunt. Anybody that thinks out of the norm is being persecuted.
Yeah, you can't even have a say, can you?
You know, and we're the same. You know, and Barry R. Frank is doing well. Proud to be paranormal is, in a sense, our way of standing up and saying, look, we are paranormal investigators. Some of us just investigate ghosts. Some of us just investigate UFOs and aliens, and some of us cryptozoology. Some people will do all three, like I do.
I like that as well. Yeah.
And I'm not scared to admit it. And I'm proud that I'm in this field, because for many years, you as a person have been subjected to that those things don't exist, don't be stupid, you know, and you're made to wear the tinfoil hat.
Oh yeah,
and you're labelled, and you're taking the mickey out of all the time. And now we're getting to a stage, well, hang on a minute, there's this picture, there's that picture, we've been here and experienced it ourselves. People have come with us and experienced it themselves. They've seen that, they've seen this. There's so much evidence out there now that it is starting to build a whole new scientific regime into the paranormal field.
It's like people can't see radio waves that bring on music or videos or stuff like that. They can't see it, but they believe in it because they've got an end product. This is going on all the time. All this energy is flying around. If you're lucky enough to see it, if you're naturally enough to see it, even better. But people who can't open themselves up or don't think they can, that's the difference, isn't it? Don't think they can. Scared to. When they do, it has a whole massive effect on them, and it changes the whole outlook on what they thought that they believed. Massive it is.
And it's a shame, because obviously we're all, I mean, since civilization sort of got itself more into the modern age, we've been steered in certain directions. And anybody that didn't want to go in that direction would be ostracized and pushed to one side. Oh, you're a loony, off you go to the loony bin, see you later, you're gone and forgotten about. And now all of a sudden we've got to this, I don't know, multi-directional crossroads. It's branching off in so many different ways now. And whether you call it diversity, because it's the only way you can class it, is diversity. This branch system is like spaghetti junction. It's going off all over the place. And you've got one branch is where people would rather believe in herbal medicines and things like that. Other people believe in UFOs and aliens and beings living on other planets in the cosmos. Then you'd have cryptozoology and ghosts and spirits, and the fact that you can believe in ghosts but not in God. But if you believe in God, you can't believe in ghosts.
It's crackers, isn't it?
You know, and I've had that conversation with people where they've turned around and said, I believe in God, but not in ghosts. And my answer to them has been hypocrite straight away. And they go, well, why am I a hypocrite? And I'm like, well, you don't believe in ghosts, but you believe in God. And yet the word God, Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, whatever is mentioned in the Bible, Old and New Testament, 365 times. So how can you say that you believe in God, but not in ghosts?
Well, I got a round of applause the other month. I'd done a speech in a church. I got asked to by mine to do a speech in a church. I thought it was just with some old ladies, you know, with some anyway.
Yeah.
And she said, my other friend's doing one as well. So I said, well, what do you want me to do a talk about? She said, well, you know, what you like to do, like, you know, spiritualism in nature and stuff like that. So I made this bloody big speech out, didn't I? And I went up, but what she never told me, she was becoming the mayor of this town.
Oh dear.
Right. And it was a big parade with all lords and all these big people with all the chains on and all that. Like, they all went down there. Now, the vicar has already seen my speech and he thought it was amazing. Right.
Yeah.
When it was my turn to go up, we'd done the prayers, you know, and all, we went through everything, what you do. And then the first person came up and he got up, he was a lord, and he done the speech. Very nice. And more prayers, more songs, and it was my turn. Crap myself up. I got up there, and they were just staring at me, all blank. And I thought, oh my God, here we go, just go for it.
Yeah.
And the vicar did say, this is going to be a bit of a different service today than what we would normally do, even though, you know, it's for the mayor, it's a different service. So anyway, I done it. And so when I got to the part where, you know, people believe in God, and you spell God G-O-D, you spell my God N-A-T-U-R-E. I got a round of applause for that. I said, because it's all the same. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Got a round of applause. Never thought I'd be in church in a strange town doing that. Seriously, it's crackers. But it's what people believe, isn't it? What they're brought up to believe. Yeah.
And that's been the thing for so many years. People have been pushed down that path, and now we've now got to a stage where culture has split up into so many different beliefs. You know, whether it's religion itself that has split up into different branches, or whether you're a Wicca, you know, you believe in herbal remedies and things like that. You know, we've got now to where a culture is so split and diverse now that it's had to be accepted regardless, because you can't stand there and ostracize one particular belief system and allow the other one to keep going.
That's it. Each to their own.
So, yeah. So it's all right turning around, the Church of England turning around and saying, look, this is a Christian country, but we don't want you meddling with ghosts and haunted locations, because we're all going to turn around and go, up yours, we're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. We don't believe, or in my view, I don't believe in your God, but I do believe that there is something after the physical, and I go out and I try to find that evidence of something after the physical. And that's my belief system. And you can't tell me that I'm not allowed to have that belief system, because my next door neighbor could be of Islamic faith.
Yeah.
And therefore, no one's going to stop him from praying or doing whatever he wants to do. So why should you stop me?
Exactly.
And they can't. And it's true. So
that's right.
It's down to the diverse culture that we've got now, that you can't be ostracized for having your belief system, because there's so many different beliefs out there now. They can't stop it.
No.
And when it comes to things like UFOs and aliens, we've got science behind us.
Yes, that's the difference. Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
science hasn't got to that stage yet where we can turn around and go, look, there's a ghost around every corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the proof. We haven't got to that stage yet because technology isn't good enough. But it will get to a stage where somebody out there, whether it's me or somebody that comes along 100 years after me, might find a way of providing that proof and evidence that there isn't a being after the physical,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole world will go, oh my God, you know, all these centuries we've been going along poo-pooing the idea of ghosts and spirit realm and things like that. And now all of a sudden Mr. Seaton's come along and there is the definitive proof and everything else. At the moment, we're still at the stage where we're laughing at things like that. And when it comes to aliens and UFOs, science is backing that up because we know for a fact that there are other planets out there that are very similar to Earth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have got the same makeup as Earth.
Yes.
Now, we've had so many cataclysmic events that have changed the evolution of whatever life is on this planet at the time. But on another planet, so many thousands of light years away, they might not have had those cataclysmic events, which means the biological life forms that have evolved there have continued to evolve past the stage that we have.
Yes.
And so they will be a lot more advanced. They will know exactly how to move from point A to point B in a matter of minutes rather than months or years. Their technology would be so much more advanced. So it stands to reason that something's out there. And we've got it with Voyager at the moment. Good old Voyager spacecraft has gone out of our solar system and it should have died by now. But for some unknown reason, it's still sending back signals. It switched itself back on.
Yeah.
And they've communicated with it. They've sent it instructions and it's obeyed those instructions. It's not even in our solar system anymore. And yet it's still transmitting. It's still running. The battery should have died ages ago. So, what's this? I think
somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting its energy from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I think changes in scientific beliefs only seems to change when the older scientists pass away. Younger scientists come to the fore with more open-minded research. Yeah, there is that. And it's basing, when you look at the research and the theories that are created now, somewhere along the line, they are based on theories that already existed. And they've just looked into that theory and boosted it. And I said it a couple of years ago that faster than light travel would be possible. Einstein said it would be possible. But at the moment, as we stand, we cannot go faster than light travel because you need to weigh negative mass.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, light has a set speed, but light doesn't weigh anything. So to be able to travel at the speed of light, you've got to have zero mass. So you can't weigh anything. So to travel faster than the speed of light, you have got to have the technology there to make it a minus mass.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the reverse. And then you've got to have the technology propulsion units to be able to propel that force. And speed would be limitless.
Yeah. Do you
So
think they've
it
got
is
that?
possible.
Do you think they've got it?
They have got technology that can propel us through space a lot faster than we're being led to believe.
Right.
The pulse engine was invented quite a while back, and they've been using it. And you can tell a pulse engine as well, because as it's going through the sky, you can see the contrail that comes off.
Yes.
And then you can see little blips. There's little puffs of smoke that are on top of that contrail.
Right.
And that's the pulse part of the engine.
Right.
So
okay.
in Earth's atmosphere, that pulse engine can be seen. Because every now and then as it's going along, it's going beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
and that's propelling it along. But in space, when you've got no atmosphere, there's no force trying to push against you, that pulse engine is able to go a lot faster because there's nothing to hold it back.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of stuff coming that we've been assisted with. It's like the TR3B, they deny it's happening, and yet myself and Mark and about 6 others have seen something very similar to the TR3B over at Rendlesham Forest. We got a photo of it. We were being watched by the MOD that night that we saw the object.
Do you know what? This is fascinating. I love it.
I mean, we were laughing and joking about it. We were standing at the East Gate where Jim Penniston? Jim Penniston had seen the lights in the woods. Right. And we were standing there filming the introduction to Truth Beyond Paranormal. And as we're doing it, this white pickup truck comes down and stops and starts watching us. And we're like, okay, well, we're only, as far as they were concerned, we're only tourists. Yeah. And there's a UFO trail that goes right past the East Gate. So it wouldn't have been anything untoward or anything abnormal, because we could just be normal hikers walking the UFO trail. We went down to the end of the car park, which is at the bottom of the where the runway is. So we're still on the outside of the base. This white pickup truck comes down and stops on the other side of the fence. And they sat there watching us still.
No.
They watched us go all the way down the footpath that leads to the alleged landing site. But all through the night while we were at the site, we could hear movement in the trees.
Right.
And we were listening to it, and we were saying, that's people. And they went, how do you know it's people? I said, it's got 2 legs. You can hear it.
Yes.
That's not a 4-legged creature making that noise. It's too heavy, and it's not, the sounds of the footsteps weren't frequent enough. They were very heavy, and they weren't frequent enough. We said, someone is out there. So 2 of our guys went off in the woods. We had actually sent them back originally to go and get some lights out the boot of the car in the car park. And they ended up going around in a complete circle. And it's, they've stood there and they've gone, we didn't see nothing. And I said, well, you're not going to, because they're there and they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
They're not going to want us to make it public that people from the MOD base were sitting there. Bearing in mind, we've got RAF Woodbridge and RAF Bentwaters, 2 bases that are a stone's throw away from each other. Both witnessed UFO activity in that time period, because it started off at Bentwaters first,
right,
and then went over to Rendlesham Forest. So there was a lot of activity in the 80s, that area, over a short space of time. And then all of a sudden, Mark went, what's that? And we saw this pure white light. There was no markers on it or anything, just a pure white light. And it went straight over. What
kind of a light was it? What shape was it?
Well, we couldn't see a shape of it to start off with, because all this was, when you're at night and you're looking out and you see Starlink fly over, and you just see that solid white light go, but it's like 13 or 14 of them, all one after the other, isn't it? Yeah. Going straight past. This was just, sorry, it wasn't, it was 2. It went over, but they got further apart from each other as they went over. But they were just solid white lights. They were traveling from west to east.
Right.
Both objects. Shortly after they disappeared, another 2 objects appeared either side of the clearing that we were in. And they were just sitting there. They weren't moving. Solid white light. There was no shape to it because it was pitch black. So all we could see was this white light. And then they disappeared off to the east. Then we were looking over at the east, watching these other 2 objects disappear. And all of a sudden, we just saw this solid white light go in a wave pattern in the east, from south to north.
Right.
And I went, well, look at that one, look. And you could see it, and it was doing this. It was wobbling as it was going along. And Mark went, Wayne, you might want to look up. So I'm standing there on whoop like that, and literally all I could see. And that night there was only a few wispy clouds. Okay. The moon was almost full. So it was casting quite a lot of light onto us. And we're in the clearing, we're getting the moonlight on us. And I looked up and all I could see was these 3 white lights. That was literally in the form of a triangle.
Yeah.
Nothing in the middle.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. You could not see through it. You couldn't, there was no stars. Yet everywhere else you could see stars. You could see like Milky Way sort of formations, you could see everything.
Quite a big sized object.
It was massive, and we couldn't even gauge. It had to have been at least 10 football pitches big. Because from the size of it, we know that when we looked, we could see wisps of cloud going underneath it.
Right.
And the moon was reflecting its light off the clouds. So it was making the clouds light up. And they were going underneath this object. And Mark quickly took a photo of it. No sooner had he taken the photo, it went. And it, oddly enough, went off in an easterly direction.
Ah.
We'd been looking on the Civil Aviation Authority radar to see whether there was anything on there. None of the objects had shown up on that radar. But then all of a sudden, 2 F-15s from RAF Lakenheath came screeching over, and that was showing up on the radar.
Yeah.
And they went from west, where Lakenheath is, right the way over to the east, and they went off into the North Sea, and then they must have dispersed off, because obviously they're going to go into somebody else's airspace.
Yeah.
But we never saw them come back.
Well,
but we never saw any more of the weird lights.
Have you ever seen one of them since? The Black Triangle?
Not since, no.
No. I've seen the triangle, honest to God. I can understand everything you're telling me now. It's like making my arms go goosebumpy. And I seen one in 1996. Wasn't looking for one. I was at home. My ex-husband had been down to the pub Wednesday night, darts. He came in at 11:15 on time. He come in, going hysterical for me to go outside. November, right? I didn't want to go out. He's just and he was screaming at me, so I went out with him. He said, "Can't you see it?" And I'm going, "What?" Now we hadn't had any street lights in that street for about 2 years, right? But you could see people's windows and everything.
Yeah.
Just ordinary street. And I was on, and I said, "What am I looking?" And he was going hysterical. "Just look." I said, "There's nothing. Am I looking for somebody? Is there a car coming up? What am I looking for?" He said,
yeah. Someone goes, "Look," and you're just looking at, yeah, what?
I looked up, and it was about 80 foot above the houses. And do you know what? It was like a relief.
Yeah.
It was a relief, and I wasn't scared. I wasn't frightened. There was no noise. It was no vibrations, no energy that I could feel. And it was just a relief. And I looked, and there was like creamy white lights on each corner, but there was like a burnt orange red colour
in the middle.
But it was quite a big light that in the middle.
Yeah.
It was silent, and I said to him, "What do you think it is?" Because with that person, if you said it was something, he'd say no. Right. So say you had a black car, his car was blacker. It's one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I said, "What do you think it is?" He said, "Well, I don't know. Well, it's got to be something. Is it an air balloon? Have you ever seen an air balloon like that before? It's covering the sky. What is it? What is it?" He said, "It looks like a UFO." I said, "I think I'd agree with you. And let's see what happens." I'm not joking. It was just floated over. It went about 300 yards up. It turned. So it was over the school field, right at the very top. In fact, right here where I am now, because I live in a different place, it's right there. And it literally turned like that, very slowly, like that. And it sped off, and it sped off towards the Irish Sea, because we live on the estuary of the River Dee. It went to the end of the River Dee on the estuary, and So I run in the house, because I had to go in the boys' bedroom to see where it was. Trampled over my sons in the bed to get to the window. They weren't very happy. And I opened the window and looked, and it was just there. And it was there for about 2-3 minutes, and then it just zoomed off massively fast, and it headed towards Cheshire. But what you were telling me, that is exactly, apart from the orange glow in the middle, that was exactly. No, there was no. I was expecting vibrations. I was expecting to be burnt. I was having all these expectations because I'd never thought that I would ever see anything like that.
I mean, there has been a theory regards to the Black Triangle. Some are saying that the ones with the light are prototypes that we've built. I
think that's what it
is. The
is.
ones without the light in the middle are the real deal.
Mm.
They're the ones that have come here from out there.
Yeah.
And the technology the theory being that the technology we've been given or we've obtained from the other ones, we haven't quite got it. And so that middle light, that orange light in the middle, is exposed.
Yes.
Because we haven't got any way of shielding the energy that comes off of that. And that's supposedly part of the anti-gravity system.
Right.
And I've got a sneaky suspicion that if this theory is correct, the reason behind that is because they haven't got any way of shielding that orange light so that it can work without affecting anything else. And these other ones are the ones like me and Mark had seen is the real deal. Because it does seem very strange that we saw these 6 individual things and then straight after that F-15s are coming in and they're marked up on the radar. And I know people say that, you know, not everything will show up on radar, especially if they're military jets. But if these 2 military jets were chasing a UFO, they would turn their transponders off because they ain't going to want you to know what they're up to.
No, absolutely not.
So, you know, it's a bit of an odd one. But again, so many people now are seeing these things. So many people are now able to share their experience with videos, live feeds on social media, that it's very hard to deny it. It's very hard to put that person down for seeing it or saying it.
Yeah.
It's become so difficult.
There again, Wayne, people are saying, oh, well, you know what? It's like AI. People can make it look like this. Well, yeah, but not everybody's computer literate, are they?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can write lots of letters. I'm very good at, I can write books, reels of them, right? But I'm not very good at editing anything. Seriously.
When it comes to videos, you use the various programs that are there and you can do the tutorials and everything else. But you can still see, if you take a natural video and you try and alter it in any way, you will know if you're into computers and you know about codexes and coding, you could look into the background behind that video and you can tell by looking at certain codes whether that's been edited in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've got to be computer literate and know how the system works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, my grandsons, they're all doing all that sort of stuff now, you know. They're going to college or they're in high school and they're all doing all that codec stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a natural thing for these kids to do. They're so clever. These kids coming up nowadays, aren't they clever? You know, and then they look at you like you're thick. We're not thick. We just haven't been taught.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I'm like that with my mum. I gave her my old cell phone, my old smartphone, gave it to her, and I had to show her how to use Messenger, how to use Facebook, how to use all these different apps and everything else. And she still can't get hold of it. She can't get used to it. 2 years later, she still doesn't get used to it. And I'm like, this phone is a lifesaver, because not only can it do your phone calls and your text message, it can do emails, it can watch TV on it. You could near enough cook your dinner with it.
Yeah.
I said, you know, it's a singing and dancing, all doing everything. But if you can't get your head around how to use it, that phone might as well be a slice of bread.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
so,
that's how it is.
So what happened then, Wayne, on the conclusion of Rendlesham?
We still don't know. We can only say that we saw a UFO. To us, it was unidentified.
Yeah.
To the powers that be, they've obviously seen something, or they wouldn't have scrambled two F-15s out after it.
No, it wouldn't, would they? No.
But the weird part was, after seeing that triangle, there was nothing else for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
So they were scared off. Whatever it was scared off by the F-15s.
Right.
And they never came back. We then spent the rest of the night filming, undisturbed. We still heard the footsteps in and around the area that we were in. So we kept moving different places, but we still felt that we were being watched.
Do you think they were in the woods watching you?
I do, yes. The two guys that were in the white pickup truck, they followed us down there.
Right.
And I would swear on my life that they got out of that pickup truck. They must have de-armed themselves or whatever, left their whatever's in the vehicle, and then they've come down to keep an eye on us and surveillance. And I think it's quite possible they may have been filming us to see what they were doing.
Possibly. I mean,
they know something's there.
What have they got to hide if they're saying there's nothing there? There's got to be. They've got a UFO
Exactly.
trail. They don't just make a UFO trail for nothing, do they?
The problem is, most people go to the UFO trail during the day.
Right.
So it's a tourist attraction. It's run by Forestry England. So you can go there anytime during the day. I'm a member of Forestry England, so I don't pay for parking.
Good.
So I can go to Rendlesham Forest whenever I like. I don't have to pay for parking. So I can go into the car park, park up, walk down there, and you can stay in that car park no end all the time. I've already made my money's worth from it. It only cost me £35 a year.
Do you know what I'd be doing? Do you know what I'd be doing with that area there? I'd be going on Google Earth in the winter, having a look, and zooming in around the woods.
Yeah.
Have a little look. I've moved.
I mean, the funny thing is, when you look on Google Earth and you look around the Rendlesham Forest area, you will get all the campsites, all the car parks, the base. You will also get the alleged landing site, and up until recently, the second landing site, which is in the middle of a farmer's field, which you can't get access to, not unless you beg the farmer and he lets you go on his crops. That's even marked. That was even recently marked on there.
Right.
So all of those are on there. The UFO trail's on there. So it's very geared up for tourism. But if you're there with a camera and you're there until 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, eyes and ears are listening constantly.
Yes, yeah.
And they were watching us all through the night to see what we were up to. And I reckon it was because they knew something was coming in.
Right, yeah. And they don't want you to see it.
It just seemed a little bit too coincidental that I'd been to Rendlesham Forest a couple of times, never seen any military personnel come down to either the East Gate or to the end of the runway ever before, even when they've done the trip around the perimeter, which when I was in the RAF and I was on guard duty, we had to every once in a while walk or drive the perimeter fences to make sure everything was okay.
Yes.
We never even saw them do that. Yet it seemed to be that particular night, the night we saw those 6 unidentified objects, we were being watched both at the gate, at the end of the runway, and we swear blind that they were in the woods with us as well.
The mystery deepens, doesn't it? I love it. It's like proper mystery pieces, yeah.
Well, we've actually overrun a little bit.
No.
We were supposed to finish at 10:30, apparently. So,
well, that was good chat, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Things Network. We did slightly overrun a little bit.
Yeah.
A cool bit. We didn't mean to, but you know how it goes when you get talking about things and you get carried away, and next minute you know, the minutes have gone by so fast. And I think that's the subject we're going to have to talk about sometime. Is the passage of time.
Right. Okay.
Why is it that 1 minute a day can drag along 24 hours in a day, and yet it feels like 48 hours, and yet other days a day could last 8 hours. It goes by so quick that you think, hang on a minute. That would have to be a subject for another day.
It will, and missing time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one about missing time. That's scary enough. So yeah. So I got a sneaky suspicion because Mark hasn't seen my message. So I think we're both just going to have to leave the chat. And I will probably see you. Well, I don't know whether we're doing anything this Thursday or Friday.
I'm not sure, but I'm okay for both nights this week. Am I? Oh no, I'm not this Friday, but I am Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody is out and about and things are going ahead, we have the Mystical Carousel show at 9 o'clock on Facebook, and we also have on the Friday at 8 o'clock is Fools and Ghouls, which is the light-hearted side, or supposed to be. The Mystical Carousel show is supposed to be a serious show about the paranormal, and Fools and Ghouls is in the name, but it's supposed to be the light-hearted side of the paranormal, which sometimes doesn't quite work. And I think some of the days get mixed up, but it works. So there's that as well. So if anybody is about on Thursday and Friday, either at 9 o'clock on Thursday, 8 o'clock on Friday, pop in and see us on there. I'll probably share it onto my timeline on Facebook anyway. So if everybody's about, that would be awesome to come and see us. Thank you for joining us tonight, Lynn. It's been great to have you come on in and have a chinwag.
As long as I'm not working, I can get on. Don't do anything else. I'm boring.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Lynn, and thank you everybody in the chat that's come along. Noreen, who else did we have here? We had Noreen. Oh, Mary. Thank you, Mary, for coming in.
Mary
and very briefly, Nicola Smith. Thank you for coming in and watching. It's quite possible there could have been other chat messages come in at some point from the other platforms. Unfortunately, this is the only ones we're able to see. So I do apologise if we didn't see any messages. I know nothing. So we're going to bid you all a good night. And remember, if you do see anything or you hear of something, you can either message myself or Mark or send it into the Dark Mirror radio show on the Facebook group, and we'll have a look into it for you all. And in the meantime, because I can say it because Mark's not in here, I can say it, keep your eyes to the skies.
Yeah.
Because you never know. And me and Lynn are both going to leave the chat, so hopefully it will automatically shut the live down, and we will see you again soon, hopefully next week at the same time.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
And good night to you, Lynn. Thank you for coming in again.
Yes. Good night.
Cheers. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Oh, dear me. Right.